guys, my name is Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Dior Skin Forever foundation. Now, I saw Jaclyn Hill rave about this foundation the other day in one of her Get Ready With Me videos, and her skin looked amazing. So I literally ran to Sephora. I was like, I have to get it. So I did wind up buying the shade for when I am tanned. So currently I'm tanned because I knew that I was going to be tanning soon. So I was like, I'll pick up my tan shade. So I picked up shade 031, and it's actually kind of orange for me, and you're going to see that in the demo of the foundation. It's a little orange for me, but I made it work. I'm gonna go back to Sephora and exchange it when I have some time, but I wanted to get this video up for you guys and show you my thoughts and review on this because Jaclyn Hill reviewed it and I was like, it looks really good. It's a pretty expensive foundation. I'm not sure if it's really gonna work. So I went ahead and picked it up, and I'm gonna read you guys what the claims are for this foundation. So this foundation has a SPF of 35, and it says it's a non-oily, textured, ultra fusional, medium to full coverage fluid foundation that delivers perfectly even color correction. What it does: perfect 16-hour foundation coverage and broad spectrum SPF 35 perfection from day to evening. This foundation leaves a luminous matte finish, flawless correction, and exceptional comfort. It's enriched with poreless effect skin care essence, leaving the skin's texture looking more refined with each wear. So it's claiming to make your skin improve overall over time. I did mention that in my try on of this. It does not pump out a lot of foundation. I don't want to waste it. You'll see it in my video. I pump it out and it doesn't give you a lot of product, so you're not wasting it. Now, I agree with you, Dior. It's a $50 foundation. I definitely wouldn't want to waste it. So $50, it claims to do all of these things. Now, if you want to see my thoughts and reviews and my first impression on this foundation, and if it holds up to its claims, keep on watching. So yeah, so first thing I'm gonna do is prime my skin. Going to use the Benefit Professional in the inner part of my face and where I have some texture going on, and then I'm gonna use the Hangover RX over here on the lower portion of the cheeks where I have some dryness going on. And now I'm gonna use the Marc Jacobs Dewdrops, and also don't mind, like, I'm gonna be matching my foundation to my neck. Currently I'm super self-tanned, and believe it or not, this foundation, the Dior foundation that I bought it in shade 031, and it's too dark for me, so it's kind of hard to buy my tan shade when I'm not tan, so I just have to kind of like wing it. I went into the store and I was like, okay, 31 looks like it'll work, and then I used the Sephora Color IQ for like a foundation that I wear when I'm tan, and I matched it up and it told me 031, but then I got it home and it's like really orange. So I'm going to make it work because I wanted to do this first impressions for you guys. So I'm gonna like mix it with my Color FX drops, and those don't, the Color FX color, they're not the custom enhancer drops, they're just the regular like color drops. I'm gonna use those to lighten up the foundation because that's not gonna change the consistency of the foundation. It's gonna keep it the same. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the foundation. It says to shake it up, and I have my custom, not the custom, what are these called? Yeah, custom cover drops. I have the custom cover drops on the back of my hand, and now I'm gonna pump the foundation out for you guys. And I want it to focus. There we go. I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4 pumps of it. I like a full coverage look. This is supposed to be full coverage, and I love full coverage, so I'm just gonna pump that out. You can see the consistency is not like runny. It's pretty thick, but it's not too thin. Like, it's in between. It's not as thick as like Kat Von D, and it's not as thin as like the Giorgio Armani foundation, like if you guys have any comparisons. So this, let me just grab a mirror so I can see if this will match. Alright, this looks like it might work. So I'm just taking whatever's on the back of this little brush that I use to mix it. I'm gonna apply it, and I'm gonna use a Sephora foundation brush. This is the number 56. So once again, I am checking out the coverage on this because look, you can see how like red my skin is, and as you can see, as this foundation does not match. Like I said, it's too orange for me and too dark. So like I said, I'm trying really hard to make it work, just because I wanted to, you know, obviously the color is wrong, but the consistency is not going to change, so that's why I am just doing it anyways. But I can fix the rest up with regular makeup, so don't be in the comments like, oh my god, it doesn't match. But I'm gonna like fix it up with some, you know, like concealer and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just blending this in. So far, as I'm putting it on, it's like it's making my skin look extremely smooth. Like my skin is looking smooth, like airbrushed, maybe you could call it. It's making my skin look airbrushed, and I'm not sure if that like airbrush look is coming off on camera. I think it is. Now, coverage wise, I'm sorry, I put some right here, but here's my rosacea here. You really can't see it on this side. Just a little bit, so I am gonna obviously do 2 layers of this and see how it builds as well. Fragrance wise, it has a light fragrance, kind of florally. I don't think it's too strong. You kind of smell it at first in the beginning, and then you don't smell it anymore. Texture, so far I don't see it enhancing my texture, but most of my texture is on my forehead, so we'll find out now if it enhances texture. So this is 1 layer, and I feel like I'm pretty blended. Let's see, my forehead, I have some texture on my forehead, and it's not looking, you know, terrible. Down here, obviously I don't match, but everything seems pretty covered. Everything is looking pretty good. So it's 4 pumps, so let me just grab a beauty blender. So for my second layer, I like to use a beauty blender no matter what foundation I'm using. So I'm gonna just beauty blend what I have left on my hand. So that's all that I had left on my hand. Now it's just on my hand. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix up some more. So that was 4 pumps. Now if you're like me and you have a lot to cover, this is a pretty pricey foundation and you're gonna be using quite a bit of it. 3, but like the amount of product that comes out of the pump is not as much as would come out of a traditional foundation pump, if that makes any sense. It doesn't pump out a lot of product when you pump it. Am I making sense? I feel like I'm making sense. I love using a beauty blender to blend in the second layer of foundation. I find that it just makes everything look so good. Like it just makes it look so flawless that like I must blend it in with a beauty blender. No, I seriously apologize for my dog snoring, but she's just so cute. So if you like dogs, give this video a thumbs up. So I'm just trying my best to blend this in and make it match with my skin. So I'm just pouncing this on my ears as well. I think that just says my skin is really red underneath, and I think it covered it really, really well. I want to apply my concealer on camera because I want to see how it's going to sit on top of the foundation and if it's going to blend well. So I'm using 2 concealers. I'm going to be using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but I got a sample of it. It's the one in the pot. I'm not exactly sure the like correct title of it. All I know is it's the new like NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and it's in the color Custard, and I'm going to apply some of that under my eye. And I'm also going to be using the regular NARS concealer, the one in the tube. I feel like I'm just confusing the shit out of you guys. Wow, my concealer is sitting really well on top of this. It looks, wow, my chin is really bright. It looks really good. Like, my skin is just, I'm sorry, like, I don't know why it keeps getting dark. Like, I'm just gonna adjust that, but my skin just, it probably looks really weird on camera. It probably looks really intense, like the highlight from the concealer, but I promise you it's not that intense in person. But I kind of wanted to go for that like Kardashian, like super bright concealer look today, just because that's kind of the look I'm going for. And then I'm just gonna, excuse me, I'm gonna take my Kat Von D translucent powder and I'm just going to set the under eye. And I'm not going to bake, I'm just going to press that in and then I'm going to kind of like wipe it away. So I finished putting on the rest of my makeup and I did not set the foundation with anything. So I didn't put any like powder on top of the foundation. I kind of just let the foundation set itself. So after I put the foundation on camera, I went into my room and after I put the foundation on camera, I went ahead and continued the rest of my makeup. So I'll just kind of tell you the order. I set my concealer, then I did my eyebrows and my eye makeup, then I let the rest of the face set. Now at that point it was a little sticky, which was, you know, it was comfortable for me. It wasn't like so sticky where like any makeup that I put on it would like stick to it and like make a mark. Everything was still blendable. You could have set it if you wanted to. I didn't think that I needed to set it because right now it's not sticky at all. Maybe a little sticky right around here where like I didn't apply any kind of powder, but it's not sticky at all. It's very comfortable. And personally, when I look in the mirror, so I have my little mirror here, my skin looks friggin' flawless. Like my skin looks amazing. It looks perfect. And you know, for wear, it wears really well. All the other products sit well on top of it, so that means that, and this foundation was also like buildable. We built up the coverage and it did not look cakey. It does not look cakey. I want to zoom you in so you can just see how good it looks. Okay, like over here I know it doesn't match all that well, but you can just see like I have a really bad texture over here. And you can't tell that there's texture there, and it also covered up my redness. And then on my forehead I have a lot of texture, and maybe you can see just a little bit of it, but maybe I'll just zoom in a little bit more. This is very up close and personal, but there you go. You can see my texture if I zoom you all the way in. So just imagine you're standing this close to my forehead, then of course you can see my texture, but for like a regular view you really can't see it. So that means that this foundation does not accentuate texture and it doesn't accentuate your pores either, and that's something that, you know, you want to look for in a foundation if you have those kind of issues like I do. So this foundation by far I think is amazing. It looks really great. So overall my thoughts on this foundation is that it wears extremely well. The Dior foundations, if I've ever worn them, I become like an oil slick and they don't last long. So like Giorgio Armani, I love the Giorgio Armani foundation, but I can only wear it if I'm going out for like the night or going out for a few hours in the day. I definitely can't wear it in the summer. It's too like luminous for me in the summer. So this right now, it's, you know, it's springtime, so I don't know how it's, you know, gonna wear it in the summer, but it seems to last pretty well. And I think that for the Dior, for a high-end foundation, it does claim to like, it's called the Forever Perfecting Everlasting Makeup. Like, it lasts pretty long. Of course, Estee Lauder is the only one that I've ever worn that I could literally go to sleep in it and wake up in it and it looks amazing. This foundation is it's not like, it does dry down, but I feel like it doesn't dry matte. It's like demi matte finish, so it doesn't dry down like completely matte and you look flat. It dries down to a matte where you don't look flat. Like you look like skin, it looks like skin, and it looks amazing, and it just like sits on top of the skin. And those are my kind of foundations, where they sit on top of the skin. The Estee Lauder sits on top of the skin, and a lot of people don't like foundations that sit on top of the skin, but personally I like a foundation that sits on top of the skin, because sometimes you can have a foundation that sits on top of your skin and it can look cakey, but Estee Lauder sits on top of the skin and it doesn't look cakey, and this also sits on top of the skin and it doesn't look cakey, and it just kind of like, it blurs out all your imperfections. And by far this is a really good foundation, and I haven't tried a foundation this good in a really long time. I'm very picky with my foundations, so this one definitely covers, and it definitely looks really good, and it's definitely, I feel like it's definitely worth the $50. Even go to like your local Sephora and get a sample and try it out. I think that it's a pretty good foundation, especially if you're looking for your skin to be luminous and dewy but not extremely oily or like a mess. That was my review on the Dior, what is it called? The Dior Skin Forever foundation. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!